My name is Anthony. This is my new channel called ASC Rants. I'm a first year political science major at UCR, and I wanted to rant about something that I have been experiencing my first few weeks of campus life. I think this can apply to like any colleges or even like parts of life, any parts of life. Just I'm explaining in college terms though, especially in UCR. You ever feel like when you're walking to like a dorm or like you're walking to class or a dining hall, you feel like you're like not legitimate? Like you see all these people around you, or in any basic place where you see people, you feel like they see they're confident, they have everything put together, and just you just feel just like you're not a college student. You feel like, oh my God, I'm faking it. I've been feeling that. Not as much as I've been, researching and talking about it, but it still lingers in the back of my head. But I wanted to tell you guys, this is just an illusion, and I have things to prove it. I'm going to be using political science, my political science classes, to talk about this because I think it basically makes more sense to me. And I think if you guys put two and two together, and as I explain it, I think it will make some sense for a lot of people. I first want to check out a quote, and he's going to be mentioned a lot, or like a few times in my rant. This guy named Alan Watts. And basically, the quote goes like this: if you awaken from this illusion and you understand that black implies white, self implies other, life implies death, you begin to feel your own existence as absolutely fundamental. The key part for me in this is self implies other. You basically only know who you are by comparing yourself to everyone else. And I think that's where the problem starts. And this is where my political science kind of came into play because it kind of mentioned match two and two together. Um, so in international relations, we have learned about this thing called a security dilemma. The world is basically in anarchy or anarchy, which it doesn't mean chaos, but it means that there is no world governments, no 911 for countries to call. So every country has to defend and protect for himself. The dilemma is when one country builds up its army to feel safe, the other country next door sees that and gets scared. So they both build up their armies until it just spirals out of control, and then they're both armed to the teeth, and it just makes it way less safe than before. You may feel insecure, and a lot of people do, including myself, my first few weeks here. And when you look at somebody who looks super confident and has it all together, it makes you feel even more insecure, or even more insecure than you were before. So you try to act like you have it, like you're confident, you have it all put together, and you put up this fake front. But then when someone else that feels insecure sees your front, they think that you have it all figured out, and then they feel insecure, and then they feel more insecure, and then they put on a fake front. So we're basically at a social arms race. Instead of nuclear weapons, guns, um, basically all these destructing things, we're living in our own security dilemma socially. And I don't think a lot of us really realize this. Which brings me to a point we learned, and I'm going to bring up multiple points. This is just one of them. Constructivism. This is the idea that stuff like a friend or enemy isn't in a physical sense, it's all socially constructed. What we decide that things mean. So, example I would give you, like in the US, the UK has nukes, but also North Korea has nukes. The only difference between the two is one is our friend and one's a threat. This is because we have a shared idea about the relationship. Another fun fact, this is also called a norm. Just the way like handshaking or like hugging somebody, that's the norm. Some people and different countries take offense or some they don't do that, that's just a norm. That feeling of being an outsider at UCR, it's not a fact. It's a shared idea, basically a norm that we accidentally created. We did not create this on purpose. We created it on accident. It's a completely social construct, and just as we constructed it, and it feels so high, and it just feels like the the wall we created is so long. We can also deconstruct it, which also brings us to another point: the liberal solution. What can we do about it? Well, you can use liberal solutions, and this is basically a counter argument to all constant like conflict. Is this? It's not the political kind of liberalism, but it's the theory that says we can all build institutions and cooperate. So instead of seeing the world as a zero sum game where one person win is your loss, we can actually make deals. We can create connections and we can break out of this dilemma. So every time you ask somebody in discussion if they want to study, or you admit to a friend that you're stressed about something in life, or a midterm, it could be a midterm, it could be something in your personal life, or it could just be like the everyday struggle of a college student. We're building this sense of institution, like this institution, and we're basically proving with this every day that cooperation is possible, and we're tearing down the socially constructed wall between self, and other. But that was kind of more in the practical part. I want to go more in like in the philosophy part. Um, another quote from Alan Watts is: Imagine you could dream any dream you wanted every single night. For the first few nights, you'll do everything you ever wanted. Total pleasure, no problems, win at everything. That seems awesome, right? But after a while, you get bored, and you'll say, "Okay, let's have a dream with a little bit of surprise. Something's gonna happen to me, but I don't know what's gonna happen." And you'll wake up and say, "Well, that was pretty exciting." And in the process of you keep doing this, you'll make more and more adventure with bigger and bigger risks until you will dream of the dream you are dreaming right now. Here at UCR, all the stress about midterms, life of a college student, the awkward and sometimes memorable days at the dining hall, the confusion, the challenge. It's not a bug, it's not a glitch. It's a necessary feature. It's the adventure basically that you would have eventually chosen for yourself, because a perfect predictable life is boring. You need randomness, which is why I'd say to a lot of people you should embrace randomness. Don't just drop everything and just not plan anything, but have a little randomness in your life. When you put this together, it's clear that outsider being is just a socially constructed security dilemma that we all actually can solve by reaching out and being real with each other. That's the liberal solution. And at the same time, all the challenges and the stress that make college hard, it's the point. It's the adventure, it's the randomness. That's the dream you'd eventually chose. You're not on probation here, you're not restricted. You are fundamental, you are necessary. So stop acting like this is a test. You belong here right now in the middle of this beautiful, randomized, complicated chaos. Anyways, that's my rant. I kind of wanted to do like a mix of political science and philosophy and stuff to do a rant. I'm gonna do like a mix, or I might do it. Give me some ideas, or tell me what you thought about this. Um, so if you liked it, subscribe, put a thumbs up, and you guys have a great rest of your night, your day, or your evening. Bye, guys. Peace.